Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Stranger, also known as Secret Forest, a South Korean television series from 2017 that is a crime drama that stars Seung-woo Cho and Doona Bae. It's 16 episodes long, with each episode being about 70 minutes in length each. The story essentially revolves around a murder case and the related corruption within a public prosecutor's office. Now, our main character is one of those prosecutors who suspects that corruption is rampant and attempts to get to the bottom of things in conjunction with his investigation of the murder. The problem is that there are multiple players that lurk behind the scenes, with many characters who are attempting to obstruct progress of the case to preserve their own interests. Now, that plot synopsis sounds rather generic, doesn't it? At least for Western viewers. But the synopsis alone does not do this series justice, because this is very good stuff. And before I tell you exactly what I liked about Stranger, I want to make one thing clear here. This is a great K-drama to watch if you do not like K-dramas, in general. The reason for this is that it almost completely avoids most K-drama cliches. There's no forced melodrama at all. Minimal to no contrivances here, meaning that there are, very few improbable coincidences that pop up. There's no romance component at all. Yes, you heard that correctly. There is no romantic relationship in this entire show, from what I remember. I think you can count, there's a few minutes of, a few side characters that they should just show their interaction a little bit with their loved ones, but yeah, there's no main romance component in this show, and that's actually quite refreshing, and I appreciated that. Because in this case, when you look at the story, it's not necessary. You know what I mean? It would just be a, I don't know what you would call it, just kind of like a filler material. You know what I mean? They just cut it out, which I liked. So this is a series that I would definitely recommend to people who may not like the common tropes of K-dramas. Now, the most impressive aspect of Stranger, aside from the acting, which is really good, is the script writing, which is it's excellent. The script here focuses almost entirely on the investigation itself, with a very deliberate, systematic analysis of the evidence at hand. This is a very, clean, linear storytelling structure that is very well written. It shores up basically every plot point and mystery by the end of it. The mystery component itself is actually really effective in this. Lots of times, I was really paying attention to what was going on, and, I would have my little guesses and make some assumptions, and the answers that were eventually given later in the series, to solve the mysteries and that were different from what I was expecting a little bit, but still made perfect sense in retrospect and help to explain little things that I noticed previously. You know what I mean? I noticed that, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. And then a mystery's solved, and you're like, you know what? That actually makes more sense now. You know what I mean? So this is good stuff. The characters do not have really any side plots. There's not much in terms of side plots here. Again, a very focused script at play. Instead, the characters are developed as they investigate the case or become associated with it, resulting in a pretty efficient storytelling structure. Another thing that helps the character development is the dialogue, which is realistic but purposeful. A lot of good conversations in this series that helps to flesh out the characters. And just to be sure that you go in with the right expectations, I want to point out that there is not much action in this, okay? Episode 1 actually begins with a lengthy foot chase to kind of get viewers involved, but we do not get another one of those until near the end of the show. And it's a good one. Not a problem per se, mostly because Stranger has a number of strengths that I previously mentioned, and it operates more as a drama anyways. But there are I do think that a few more suspense thriller sequences could have been added to kind of spice things up a little bit more. This does feel a little bit slow in spots. Not debilitating or even maybe noticeable to most viewers, but it is there a little bit. But with that said, there are some moments during the later episodes of this show that are dramatically impactful, surprisingly so, which says something about the proficiency of the series. I mean, the final 4 or 5 episodes in this are the best part of the entire show. And that's not something that you can say about most K-dramas. Even the better K-dramas, a lot of them sometimes they have trouble sticking that ending. Stranger has no problems in that area. So if you're liking this show, during the early episodes, which I did, it's reason to be excited because it gets better as it keeps rolling along. Now, as I mentioned previously, the lead actor is Seung-woo Cho. He previously starred in Taza, The High Rollers, which is a very cool movie that came out in 2006. If I have a chance to watch it again, maybe I'll review it on my channel. He's been in a handful of other projects over the years, but when all is said and done, I think that his role in Stranger is going to be one of the big highlights of his entire career. He's awesome in this show. Now, his character, very early on, it's explained that he had brain surgery as a child. And his character has like a certain condition that makes him a less emotional person. He's also a very even-keel investigator because of this. Who's very tempered and almost impervious to emotional flaws and distractions. Almost. Now, some actors would portray a character like this too robotically, but Seung-woo Cho was able to bring him to life and play the role with a little bit of nuance and likability. He has a very natural delivery to his dialogue, even though his emotions are muted. And, long story short, he made his character far more likable than I was expecting given the premise. So, props to this guy. Now, with regard to Doona Bae, her screen time varies greatly during the early episodes. So if you go into this show to see her alone, like if she's the main reason you're going to watch this, you do need a little bit of patience during those first few episodes. But her screen time increases as the series progresses. And she is the female lead. And she's fantastic in this, to no one's surprise. But, I would say that if you're going to watch this show for her, it's worth watching for her. But you need to be a little patient near the beginning. And it's nice to see her continue to get strong roles in Korean films and television series. I've seen a few of her other K-dramas, and I thought they were, okay. They were pretty good. But they had, weak scripts. This is probably the best script that I've seen from any of her K-dramas so far, from the ones I've seen. So, yeah, this is one to look out for. It's definitely, it got good reviews from critics and fans alike. I think it got pretty good ratings, too. So, Stranger's the one to check out. I think it's available right now on Drama Fever. So, as always, I will see you next time.